The February Nintendo Direct was jam-packed with games, announcements, and excitement. So much excitement that you may have in fact missed some of these strange reveals. So today, we're rolling through a list of 7 things that showed up in the Direct that were kind of funky. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Gabe is here. Let us know if we missed anything else that struck you as a little bit odd or something that flew under the radar. It's always fun to go back second by second after you watch the Direct in your hype mode and then see all of these little touches.
When you have 35 minutes of footage, or just about 35 minutes of footage, yeah, you're going to miss on something, especially if you're like super hyped from one of the announcements that you really loved. It makes sense to miss even some of these things that are weird in some cases, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy the video and enjoy finding out some of these things that hopefully you didn't know. We'll start with one that occurred early in the Direct, and it's a little bit of an obvious one, I guess, but I completely missed it the first time, and that is the fact that the Smash Bros. Little clip that aired before the announcement of version 3.0 actually teased The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake way before it happened. The egg that is on top of Mount Tamaranch, the Windfish's egg that you see in the really pretty artwork for the game, that big egg was right next to Inkling and Villager in the Smash Bros. Moment.
I wonder if anybody like instantly recognized it. I'm sure there's people out there that did, that are like, hey, look at that, and what is the egg even doing in Smash Brothers like that? Like, it didn't like fit in whatsoever. So I'm sure some people did like connect the dots right away. I sure as heck didn't, and I know a lot of other people didn't as well. This is like my favorite little reference here, and from now on I'm going to be paying extra attention to every Direct.
Sakurai is so sneaky. The whole team over there. This was a great one. I did notice the egg. I was like, what the heck? Egg? Yeah. And I thought that they were going to start talking about eggs or something for Smash Bros. Version 3, and then I just forgot about it, and I was like, oh, such a cool little moment. Something more under the radar, though, is our number 2, which is that Star Fox Grand Prix, the heavily rumored Retro Studios game, was not in fact shown, but something very similar was. You may have missed that Starlink Battle for Atlas is not only getting new missions and a new set of storylines referencing Wolf, Leon, Andrew, and Pigma, but it's also getting Starship races. And I found this to be incredibly odd and coincidental that we have a heavily rumored Grand Prix game, no sign of that, but yet we are getting Star Fox Racing in Starlink.
Yes, I don't know that there's any connection between these. I think that, hey, first of all, this is Ubisoft making this, not Retro. The rumor seemed to have been very, very centered around Retro, and that was their game. We had Retro employees kind of comment on it. I think for me, this is just like one big coincidence, but hey, we're getting some type of Star Fox Racing. It just happens to be in Battle for Atlas.
And I have to say that, is there a chance that rumor strands were crossed in strange ways, and this is what they were talking about? They both could exist. That would be awesome. I'd prefer that. But this one definitely struck me as strange. Number 3 is a big one, and I love it. Mario Maker getting multiplayer. Now, there's nothing that directly says Mario Maker 2 is getting multiplayer, but there are a lot of hints, 3 in particular, that are very convincing to us.
Zach, I told you about this one right away. It seems like in the key art, and it doesn't even see, like, they're in the key art, Toadette and Blue Toad. You see Luigi, he's very prominent in the trailer as well and in the box art. You see them all. And when I think of those 4 characters in particular, you think of, you know, a game that just came out with the deluxe version of New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii U. I wonder if multiplayer's in here. Why else would they put Toadette and Toad in the key art like that?
Especially since they have been sort of the face of cooperative Mario across the New Super Mario games as of late. There's also some other things, Gabe. We see a little icon that shows 2 heads in the footage, and that could very well indicate how many players you're making the stage for. And the third little hint is that on Nintendo's website, if you look up Super Mario Maker 2, you'll see number of players, and it says to be determined. Why would they put that? Why aren't they sure? Seems like it's going to be part of a bigger reveal sometime between now and the game's launch.
Yep, multiplayer in Super Mario Maker is going to completely flip the formula, I think. And when I was thinking to myself, okay, what could they do to make this a full-fledged sequel? That never even entered my mind, to be honest. So I'm really happy it's happening.
Indeed, and we have a even weirder Mario Maker one coming at the end. But first, Gabe, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. It's coming to the Switch. It's coming late in May, but we're getting that franchise on the platform. You may have missed, though, that they are adding motion aiming and touch input to the game in a move that almost feels reminiscent of the Wii era when they would tack on sort of these gimmicky features. And as happy as I am to see Assassin's Creed on the Switch, I feel like this is maybe a bit of a backwards way of going about it.
I'm going to motion aim right at Assassin's Creed 3 right now and say you may have missed this because you were too taken aback by how ugly it looks, honestly. The port does not look good. The footage shown, I don't know why they thought it was okay to show that game like that. I really don't. And yeah, it's weird that motion aiming and touch input is there. But I will say the motion aiming could be cool for those, boat fights, right? Like sailing is a big part in Assassin's Creed 3, so.
Yeah, it's just interesting that instead of making something tailored for the Switch, they are adding weird Switch features, and I don't know how many people really want touch input in their Switch games, let alone in Assassin's Creed 3, but hey, hopefully the port turns out to be a pretty cool one. Number 5 is the Japanese differences. It's always interesting to go and watch the other regions' directs after yours concludes, and yesterday's was no different. There were a number of titles in the Japanese direct that were nowhere to be found in the US Direct. We got Dragon's Dogma footage instead of Assassin's Creed 3. We got the announcement that Dragon Quest Rivals, a very popular card game, is coming to Switch in Japan. Even Hat in Time got some shine over there, and nothing on this side.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dragon's Dogma wasn't shown. That's just a big game, like, overall, I guess. Capcom did a really good job of, announcing that and showing it for Switch. It looks really cool. I just don't know why they didn't show it here at all. I don't understand why only Japan gets that. Like, why not show both in both regions is what I'm asking.
Yeah, it's interesting on how the directs come together and are assembled. Like, it's a little strange, and I'd love to know the process. There were other games as well. Konami's Powerful Pro Baseball got announced over there, and No Mention, and there were even more. So if you want to see all of those, definitely recommend checking out the Japanese direct, just because it's interesting to see how they differ, and you do get a few separate announcements, which is kind of cool. The 6th one, Gabe.
Oh, man.
This might be the strangest of all.
Oh, man.
It's definitely the saddest.
Yep.
And it's actually an omission, and that is that there is no major Nintendo game come until E3. Yes, we have Yoshi's Crafted World, which is very cute and clever. Already played the demo. That's March 29th, but that was announced a while back. And it looks like Nintendo, as of now, has nothing until Mario Maker, and then they've got a ton, which is going to be awesome, but it's so strange given the current just state of things and how shareholders have expressed concern. We have very little between now and E3.
I wish I could give credit to whoever made the joke, but somebody on Twitter said something about somebody needs to tell Nintendo that the year doesn't start in the summer. Like the year doesn't start 6 months into the year. Yeah, I mean, that was, very funny. Maybe something's still coming. We can cross our fingers and hope, but I'm not going to pretend like something is. Maybe version 3 for Smash Brothers is so substantial that they want to give you like a full month for that. I mean, I don't know.
There were so many omissions. I wonder if there is maybe something more coming at some point. The things that we heard heavily rumored didn't appear. The SNES thing just completely evaporated. So is there more? We'll have to dive into that a little deeper, the missing games, if you will. But right now, it just feels so odd that in a console generation where Nintendo has done such a great job of spacing their titles out, we're going to have a loaded back half of the year and a Mario U port in Yoshi's Crafted World first 6 months feels a little bit awkward.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
All right, we've made it to my favorite one on the entire list, Gabe. Number 7, lucky number 7, Koopa Car. Koopa Car is in the Mario Maker 2 key art, and I am going crazy to think what this means. Could there be vehicles in Super Mario Maker 2?
I just think that it's a silly thing for some promotional art. Like, cars in Mario Maker, like, unless they added, like, Mario Kart, like, hey, shout out to Mod Nation Racers once again. This is the second time that I mentioned Mod Nation Racers. Like, that would be fun. I don't think it's happening.
No, I don't think they go that far, but I wonder, like, are there powered-up enemies that are in cars? Are you able to ride cars? Are there new elements here that we haven't seen ever before? It's just, I don't know. Nintendo is very purposeful, You know, we made the mention of multiplayer and how they kind of tease that and drip those little hints throughout. This, to me, where there's smoke from the wheels, I hope there's fire, because I would love to see enemies riding around in cars or Mario riding around in vehicles. Imagine the possibilities of like plane-based segments, car-based segments. Maybe it is just a cute, quirky addition to the art, but everything else looks real. Everything else is a part of it. I can't believe no one's talking about Koopa Car. This is my meme of the year so far.
Yeah, I don't know why it's there. I mean, there probably is more to it. Do I think we see a Koopa in a car in the game? Yes. I just don't know what form it takes.
Boom! You heard it here first, baby. Koopa Car, Super Mario Maker 2. Those are our 7 oddities, the strange things you may have missed from the February Direct. Let us know if there's any others that we may have missed, and let us know if you miss any of these. Hopefully, you learned something new and got a new take on a jam-packed Direct. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are pumped for 2019 and Nintendo. Wherever the game's coming out, they are coming out, and it is going to be a packed and awesome year for Switch. For now, though, for myself and Gabe, a fantastic day. Thanks again. SwitchForce